Maggie had been a widow for just over a year. David Dahl had died in his sleep from viral myocarditis, an inflammation of the heart muscle. He'd mistaken its symptoms for heartburn and a shortness of breath he had dismissed as nothing serious. He thought there was no reason to see a doctor, insisting he would feel better in the morning. But what he'd been in the morning was dead. Maggie went to sleep next to the man she'd shared her life with for 24 years, and woken up alone. Completely, permanently alone, in the way only those who outlive their soulmates know. There were still people in her life, of course, all those who had not died in their sleep, her son, Wynne, and his husband, Leo, her friends in Manhattan, and her many friends in Lambertville, her staff at Dollhouse Jams and the store that shared its name, her sister Jerry, who'd been living with her since the previous fall, and, not to be minimized, Chex the cat, perhaps the most stoic and loyal of them all, but the part of her that froze in time when she turned to David to wake him up and found him dead, had not thawed in the least. It was a room in her soul even she did not have a key to, and she had made her peace with that. She knew she would grieve for him the rest of her life, a grief that had settled into a familiar, almost comfortable ache. It was part of her, as David had been part of her. She did not regret it or want it gone. She knew time would fade everything else, the memory of his face, the sound of his voice, the feel of his touch. She did not want the sense of loss to fade with all the rest, just to lessen to the point she could still enjoy life. And what a life it was. Maggie and David had moved to Lambertville from New York City to build a dream, not so much to pursue one, since neither believed they were chasing anything. To chase something is to always be behind it, trying to capture it. This had been a new adventure, one they would take one action point at a time. Buy the house in Lambertville, sell the apartment in New York City, find a good location for their jam and jelly business, and, finally, open a store to offer those jams and jellies to a buying public. David had not lived to see its completion. He'd been around for the opening of the factory, and the people who worked there had all known him, but he'd not been there to see the opening of the store, the marriage of his son, the glowing reviews of Dollhouse Jams and Specialties as a new and welcomed member of the local business community, or the media circus that had surrounded Maggie exposing a killer. She was glad for that last part. David would have been appalled at the attention it brought. He might even have stopped Maggie from getting involved at all. In some ways, she cringed thinking it. He had died just in time. "No, Maggie," she told herself as she made breakfast with the sound of Jerry getting ready upstairs. There was no just in time. There was no good time to die or to be left behind. Her sister, Jerry, had been trying for the past 2 months to get Maggie to date. Not date again, since the last date Maggie had gone on was with the man she'd married, but to test the waters, to have dinner with a gentleman, to let those rooms inside her, all those rooms except the one with no key, to air out, to breathe. She had shrugged off Jerry's suggestion at first, then pushed back firmly, and finally told Jerry to stay out of it. It was none of her business how long Maggie wanted to remain closed off. It wasn't until the past few weeks, when she'd allowed herself to find men attractive again, that the possibility of an evening out with one of them had not racked her with guilt. She felt that part of her coming alive, the part that badly missed a light conversation with a man, laughter across a restaurant table, a touch on the arm, and it scared her.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.